You always want to adjust the way you like to be adjusted, I think. And whenever I was in first year and you're getting adjusted by some of the students that are maybe fourth year, fifth year, it's a 5-year course over here. So you're speaking to the fifth years and you're like, can you check me? And you'll see the ones that you like to be adjusted by more than the others. And then they were all telling me like, hey, you need to go to this seminar. I went to a few of them. And then with all the social media stuff that I was doing, Danny, who then took over from Arno, that's when I was in, I think I was at the end of second year when that transition happened. And he was basically saying, I want MLS to have more of a presence on social media. Do you want to help me out? And you can come to the seminar, but you're basically the social media manager. So I started going to the seminars, and I would have been participating a little bit and then running around, following him and taking pictures and that sort of thing. So I wasn't really, as a facilitator, I wasn't really a coaching role. I was more of a social media guy. And then slowly but surely, once you've started being to 5, 6, 7, 8 of these seminars, I'm doing that, but I'm also able to give a little bit of input to people. So if you're there and I'll be like, okay, just feed into that tissue a little more, you need to compress a little bit, or just small things. Hey man, like bend your knees a bit more and straighten your back. Just small things like that. Just noticing little things. And then as you're getting to about 10 seminars, now you're ready to actually step into a coaching role. So then it was less of doing the social media, and it was more of, okay, Zarek's here to help facilitate me helping you. And then you're going around and it's actually not, it wasn't that hard with students because they're your peers. The hard one was when you're with docs who are practicing, but they maybe aren't doing that technique or approach. MLS isn't a technique, it's an approach. So these people are much more experienced than me in life and clinically as well. But you're able to be with them and say, okay, like, do X, Y, Z. You'll do that adjustment better if you roll your body a little bit more this way. Stuff like that. And believe it or not, they were a lot more open-minded about that than you think. You think that they're going to be like, oh, this guy's a student, like, piss off sort of thing. They're very open-minded, and they realize, I think, that you have done this approach much more than they have, so your input is valuable. The same way if I was to go to one of their seminars, that they're going to be able to help me with that. So stepping into the coaching role like that, the actual organizing, like selling tickets, that sort of thing, I did a little bit of it, but there's other facilitators that are doing that. My main focus was the social media, and then on the day, giving people little tips here and there. And then actually there was a couple of months ago, when would it have been? It would have been shortly after the first lockdown, I think. And we had a seminar in Hamburg. There was about 20 participants, pretty small session because it was after the Corona nonsense. And I flew there, I landed in Hamburg, and then I got a call to say that there'd been an accident. Danny had been in nothing serious, like a fender bender. But he wasn't, do you use that term, fender bender? He'd been in a very small car accident, but he was fine, luckily. And they were like, yeah, there's nobody there. Will you do it? Are you ready? Are you going to be able to do this? And by that point, I think I'd done 15 of them. So even though it was very nerve-wracking, you can kind of rely on, you've done this that many times before that now you're going to be able to step up and do it. And I led the weekend seminar, so that was a good trial by fire. And whenever I landed at that airport and my phone blew up with all these missed calls and messages, and I wanted to get on the first plane back to Barcelona, but there's 20 chiropractors waiting for you to learn some of this approach. So that was an interesting kind of, the universe put me in that position for it to be a baptism of fire. It was maybe a little bit rough at the edges at times, but we got through it, and that was a really good moment. That was a nice milestone on the journey from coming from, I did my first MLS seminar when I was 2 weeks into school, so you barely know anything at 2 weeks. and to then be at the end of my school career and actually be leading one of the seminars, even though it was a one-off. But